As parents, as custodians for these souls, we are custodians of their physical body, their mind, their emotional, their soul bodies. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being a parent. And there's a lot of growth as well. So to be able to differentiate and separate, like, am I giving from a place of growth or am I giving from a place of fear? We are not always aware of where is this coming from. And of course, there will be a lot of trauma, like us, all of us have trauma that we carry from our ancestors and our parents. Parents who are more aware and more conscious, they're also conscious that I am going to be creating some kind of trauma in my kid's life, and then the responsibility is even bigger, right?
I say to parents, do your best, but be authentic. Let yourself make some mistakes, learn from them as well as you can, treat every child based on their personalities and their desires, support them as well as you can, but know that there will be things that your child will have to learn and heal and deal with themselves at some point, and it's not your fault.
That was the moment when I let go of the guilt, because I saw all the beautiful things that we had done together, and I realized that why am I always so focused on what I don't do or what I haven't done or what I haven't done enough or good enough, that I don't remember or I don't focus on the beautiful things that I have done as a parent, right? We have done together. And then it hit me because we have had such a beautiful, meaningful journey that summer, and I think that's what kind of triggered me to see that light, and I was just so grateful.
Welcome to the Epiphany Dialogues, Rasha.
Thank you, Zimmy. It's so great to be here with you today.
Well, I'm so excited as well for our conversation. This is one of those times where we both don't know where it's going. The Epiphany will be a surprise as well for me, which I usually ask our guests to send us a bit before the recording, just so that I know where to ask the question. But this time, Rasha has decided that she wants to surprise me, and she wants to have a spontaneous reaction. So I love that. Thank you for that, Rasha. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I'm really excited for the conversation. And, this wasn't even planned for me to just keep the epiphany a surprise. I just had a lot of things that I wanted to share, and I've been just like trusting that the right one will come at the right time. And I just figured it out this morning. So before our call,
Wonderful.
I'm like, this is the one that I really feel more aligned with to speak about. So, and then it hit me. I'm like, okay, let's just go with the flow. Why not? And thanks for
Yes.
accepting the challenge.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course. No, I am looking forward to it. Let me introduce you formally, and then we get right into the conversation. So today we have with us Rasha Dharouj. She's a Dubai-based holistic wellness advocate and growth catalyst. She is a passionate advocate for holistic wellness, dedicated to empowering individuals to achieve optimal health and well-being. With a background in life coaching and theta healing, Rasha combines her expertise to guide others on transformative journeys of self-discovery and healing. As the founder of Helantra, Rasha provides a platform for exploring holistic approaches to health, covering topics ranging from energy healing and mindfulness to nutrition and alternative therapies. Through her podcast, workshops, and coaching sessions, she seeks to inspire and guide others to enhance their overall quality of life. Welcome once again, Rasha.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Thanks, Zimmy.
Of course. And tell me a little bit more about Helantra, because I believe it covers pretty much everything that you stand for and that you're passionate about. How did that come about? What does it entail?
Yes, absolutely. So it's two separate kind of paths within my life journey that led me to this. So the first one was very much related to my health. Ever since I was a young adult, I have faced, like all of us, different health issues, and they could have been minor or major. And every single time I would go to a traditional Western medicine doctor for them. Like, I'll give you one example. I had a skin condition that lasted for a few weeks, and three separate doctors within those 3 weeks, and different medications, and it wouldn't go away, and nobody could figure out what it was. Until one day, I was working at the time um, uh, in an office with other people, and there was a lady from India that, she could see I was like really having a hard time with it because it was itchy and annoying. And she just gave me a small ointment, and she said, this is an Ayurvedic ointment for
Right.
eczema and things like that. And it stuck with me. And then fast forward after that, I tried acupuncture, and I've tried, different energy healing modalities because my mental and emotional well-being wasn't very much in a good state. So throughout the years, all of these things did help me. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with the Western medicine approach. It's just that I always saw that all of these things working together, they made sense, because I would go to a Western medicine doctor to get a diagnosis, and there are things that you just can't avoid. There are medications you can't avoid taking. But there is
Right.
also other ways that have been working for people for thousands of years. So my eagerness came from, why have we dismissed it, right? Like, why have we
Yes.
dismissed those modalities? And I really, like, I had this fire inside that I want to do something about it, because it's been my part of my journey. So I want to do something about it. And by that point, I had also taken theta healing courses, because I really loved the modality for myself. It helped me a lot, and I started taking some clients at the time. And I thought, okay, so the first step is, I want to create awareness about these holistic modalities, all of the alternative, contemporary, or traditional medicine modalities. So I want to do
Right.
something with it, and I wasn't really sure what it was. So I checked back with my intention after like weeks and months of like trying to figure out what it was, and the name Helantra came up, but I just didn't know what it was going to stand for.
Mm.
And eventually I just went back and remembered that my intention was to create awareness and more, just put information out there in my own way. And so I just immediately, just once I remembered the intention, I just had the idea that, okay, let me start a podcast and invite, because by then I had a lot of people in my circles and my network that are part of this. And then I said, let me start a podcast, and I invite people to talk either about their own personal journeys of healing through these modalities, or if they also provide these practices, or if they're already experts in them, so they can also share about it. And
Right.
that's been the journey with Helantra. I'm also working to create something for coaches and practitioners within the space.
Great.
Yeah, so that's coming up soon. That's on one side. On the other side is the emotional mental part. And because I also got certified as a life coach through Mind Valley, and I had the theta healing, and I wanted to kind of keep going, keep giving through that space, as Rasha giving through that space. And so I started creating workshops. I do one-on-one sessions, and then I don't know why I was really drawn to creating workshops in a group setting, whether it's for individuals for their personal life, or in a corporate environment. So I started doing that, and I felt really aligned with it. So that's where the journey is still. I'm still going through that. I'm growing through it, and I'm still learning through it. Yeah. So
Wow, that is beautiful. It sounds amazing. Of course, I have heard and watched your podcast and the people that you bring on and who talk about the various completely, like some that I've heard of, but some that I have not heard of, modalities, approaches, and just their stories. So inspiring and so enlightening. So thank you for bringing that to us. And of course, we'll mention all of this in the show notes so that people can find you and follow you and benefit from what you're offering. Um, So yeah, I mean, there are a few of the episodes where I was just like, "Oh wow, I did not know that. That is very interesting. That's something to look further into because I've always been drawn to complementary or alternative, as they're called, approaches, modalities, healing practices. So yeah, there's just so many, right? And a lot of them do come from all the way from our ancestors where all of these things were not available and they still had means and solutions for so many things that happened to us, whether it's physically or mentally. So yeah, it's beautiful that you are bringing this back. It's the right time for us to reconnect with our roots. And also what you mentioned about groups, that is perfect timing. You're in alignment with where we're all heading in terms of connecting back to community and building grassroots communities wherever we are, and holding space and being held as well by that community. So, yeah, congratulations. And I wish you so much joy on this endeavor. And I hope that it fills your heart and that of others as well.
Thank you, Zimmy, so much for your beautiful words. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And so, what did you start with first on this quest when you kind of were finding your way through Ayurveda and other forms of healing? Was it theta healing that called first, or did that come later?
It was part of the process. So I had tried different alternative medicine approaches for whenever something came up, like I told you, that skin disease or I had back problems. So these things would come up and go throughout the years. But
Right.
on a personal level, when because the physical ailments, it's easy to forget, right? Like there, you just work on them in the moment and then you forget. They are part, I believe, they are part of a bigger a bigger system working together. The physical, the emotional, the mental, all of these things, the spiritual, are working together, of course. And when it manifests in the physical realm or the physical body, it's when you can see, okay, I'm going to treat this, but then I have to look for what is the root cause of it, and it's
Right.
usually something that is linked more to your energetic, to your spiritual, to your mental, emotional bodies.
True.
So when I got to that point when I couldn't ignore that side anymore, and the knocking got much louder, and then that's when you say, as all of us, experience, is I hit rock bottom in my life. Um, so that's when I discovered theta healing after trying also other modalities that are really, really beautiful, and that one resonated with me a lot. So I think it's just all pieces of a puzzle that just you keep building, and I don't think the puzzle ends. You just have to keep, I think we learn to keep trusting that it's going to become something that we can see and understand eventually. So there's that
Yes.
trust element that I've had to, and most of us have had to learn through the journey. So yeah, that's how it started to kind of take shape.
Right. Okay. And how long has it been since you started learning and then actually moving on to working with people and offering this as a healing service?
Yeah, so my rock bottom was around 7 years ago. And it was a year after that. So it's been around 6 years that I started
Wow.
learning, and I started the journey of being of service to others as well. Yes.
That's beautiful. Okay. And for people who are interested, do you work one-on-one? Do you work in groups like with theta healing, or is it another modality? Do you work online?
Yes. So for the I do one-on-one sessions and I do group sessions. So for one-on-one sessions, I can meet the person in person or online. It's
Right.
always it's always based. I mean, both of the modes of communication work, but the person always feels that there is, if they don't know me, if there is more rapport or better trust built if we meet in person at least the first time.
Yeah.
But then once so I started with theta healing, and then I learned about life coaching. I got my certification through Mind Valley a couple of years ago, And I
Nice.
started mixing up my sessions. So one-on-one sessions are a rotation between theta healing and life coaching, and we do meditations as well. I offer a program for someone who just started to work with me. I offer a 3-month program because I want to kind of initiate them into the process of how I help them. But of course, everybody comes in with something different, unique to them. But then I found that this program can always, it's quite generic, but it can be tweaked to what everybody comes with for help. And the workshop sessions are, I do them as well as a means of, no matter where you are in your journey in your life, if you've done energy healing or any kind of other any kind of like practice before, if you've gone to uh, therapy, if you've done anything and you're on a growth journey. So the workshops, the intention for the workshops is to empower people with practical tools they can do on their own. So you can go to do a hypnotherapy session, for example, and you come out and you have all these breakthroughs. But before your next session, it could be with a hypnotherapist or it could be with another practitioner. Before
Mm-hmm.
your next session, there is that time in between. And
Right.
there's a lot of things that you can start to learn on your own that are very empowering, and you can adapt to your day-to-day life that can help you. So
Right.
there's so many tools out there in the workshop. I bring in things that have helped me in my life. So, and I involve many different kind of practices. Like I've been into essential oils for some time. So I bring essential oils to the workshop, and then
Nice.
people can experience that. We do a bit of meditation. We do a bit of movement. So I bring in a physical element too, and everyone can take in what they like. Some things
Yes.
resonate with people more than others. So they're quite interactive, and that's what I like about them. So yeah.
Okay, that sounds really good and quite holistic. And like you said, yeah, some people at some point in their journey need more somatic and body work. Some people need more mental processing and then deeper work in other forms. So I love that you have that available in terms of the variety and see what, fits when, at what time, and for whom. But I love that you have that available for people to easily be able to delve in and see if that's for them right now or not. Um, and tell me about the tool that you said you're creating for healers and therapists and
Yeah, so the intention of it was specifically for coaches, but it can be used for other practitioners. It's still not out there yet, so but I'll tell you a little bit about it. So the intention was, like you said, is to create a community of people who are practitioners, because we spend a lot of our time giving so much to our clients, and sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. And I've seen it a lot
yes.
I've seen it a lot. So the intention was, let's create a community where we can get together and maybe share ideas and share ways that we can either collaborate, or ways that have worked with one person can help someone else as well in their practice. And there will be a little, I work with a third party company that provides a platform where coaches can sign up, create their own account, and they can also upload their activities, and they can upload, let's say, videos or worksheets or whatever it is, tools that they can share with their clients. So this is sort of like holding their hand, because a lot of practitioners who do this work, they are on their own. It's just like a solo initiative,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of work they do in the back end, and that takes a lot of time as well.
right.
So that can help them basically make it easier to communicate with their clients, create work, and activities and tools for their clients in an easy way, in an easy space, and share it with them, and then monitor all that and be connected with their client on a regular basis. So it does take
Wow.
away a little bit of admin work. Yeah. And
That's amazing.
yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna come out very soon. There's I kind of had to put it on the shelf for a bit to take care of some personal things, as we all do.
Sure.
But now it's kind of coming back to life soon.
Wow. That sounds amazing and something that I would love to be part of and sign up to as well, and see what I can offer through it or receive from it. Because it sounds like it would be like this place of, wisdom coming in through, like such accessible sources and people that are you're able to trust. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, best of luck. Get it out there, man. We need it. We all need it. It would be so
Yes.
helpful.
Yes. Thank you for your support, James. Yes, I would love to. I can't wait to share it, and you'll be one of the first. We'll try it. I'll try it out on you, and you can give me your feedback.
I love it.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I'm totally up for it. And I just have to mention, speaking of meditations, Rasha, you were part of the Love Academy team, and you took care of all the meditations that we offer for emotional well-being of children. And yeah, there's a whole episode about the Love Academy if you want to know more. But that was how we met, right? When I put out that call that I have a dream and this is what I want to do. And so many people obviously contacted me, and one of them was you. And what I remember so clearly about what stood out about you was that when we spoke for the very first time, we had never met and we just got on a phone call. The way you took ownership of what you wanted to do was so beautiful, like music to my ears, because obviously I needed a lot of support to create something as substantial as we have done. The way you just said, listen, I have this vision of children sitting in a circle. It'll be a healing circle, and we take them through this visualization for this, and this, like to, create gratitude and create unity. And I was just like, I'm already in love with this person. I can't wait to meet her. And then thank you. Like, I just want to say here that your work is so empowering, like you said, and so uplifting. And every time I go through those meditations of yours from the Love Academy syllabus, it just makes my heart smile because they're so loving and so beautiful. And I know that there are kids around the world enjoying them. And I'm so grateful that I got to meet you. Like, you have become such an amazing, beautiful part of my universe. And just the fact that every time we connect and every time we talk, it just feels like family, like home. And so, yeah, I just wanted to put this out there, how grateful I am for you.
Thank you, Zimmy. I'm grateful for you as well. I mean, I also felt that instant connection. I was so excited when I saw your post, that call out to invite people to create this beautiful work that you had envisioned, the Love Academy. And I was so humbled that I was part of it. I was so excited every time we met. COVID was no obstacle. It kept going, like it came with a lot of challenges, but all of us made it through, and your vision and your love and your dedication made it come to reality. And that says a lot about who you are as a person, and what you want to give. And that's like just very few things we can say about you. So thank you also for creating that space for all of us to get together, and for a space to channel, right? Because it's all about the giving. It's not about any
Yes,
of us. It's not about anything that we're taking from. It's all about giving. And I love that part of it. Like, people coming together to give.
yes,
That was really beautiful, and that never left me. So thank you as well. I'm really, really grateful to have you in my life. I mean, it felt like a soul connection from the start, and I would love to
yes.
meet you more often, but when we do meet, it's always magical.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we should set that intention. I would like to be part of the community that you're creating. At least that's one way to meet up more often. And I'm so ready to support in any way that I can. Um, all right. So we're at that moment. Yeah, we know exactly what we're talking about. Um,
Yes.
Rasha, tell me, what is an epiphany that has changed the course of your life?
Yes. So I am a mother for a 15-year-old beautiful young lady,
Yes,
and it's been a very interesting, very fulfilling journey with lots of ups and downs. This parenting journey with her. And I've had a lot of epiphanies. And, the moment we discussed doing this episode, I don't know why my mind went and my heart went immediately to it has to do with something related to being a parent to my daughter.
right.
And, uh, and so there's been many epiphanies in the journey. There's many, many, many lessons. And I'm very, very grateful that I have had this gift in my life. And, as parents, as custodians for these souls, we are custodians of their physical body, their mind, their emotional, their soul bodies. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being a parent. And there's a lot of growth as well. So to be able to differentiate and separate, like, am I giving from a place of growth or am I giving from a place of fear? We are not always aware of where is this coming from. And of course, there will be a lot of, trauma, like us, all of us have trauma that we carry from our ancestors and our parents. Parents who are more aware and more conscious, they're also conscious that I am going to be creating some kind of trauma in my kid's life, and then the responsibility is even bigger, right?
Yes.
So the one that I want to talk about today, because there's so many, and I'm still learning and I'm still growing, and always with gratitude to have had this, beautiful soul in my life, is one about guilt. Okay, so I'm a single parent, and not to say that her father is not involved. He's a beautiful soul as well, and I'm really, really grateful to have him in our lives as well. But it's been she lives with me, and it's been me at the forefront of everything for many, many years since she was
Right.
5 years old. And so I've carried this guilt element. And I think, divorced or not, most of parents carry that rock on our shoulders through our parenting journey. And sometimes we're aware of it, sometimes we're not. So for many, many years, I would act from guilt. I would make decisions from guilt. I would act from guilt, whether it's guilt of not being there enough, guilt of not doing enough, guilt of did I make the wrong decision? Did I take the wrong step? Did I yell at this point? I shouldn't have yelled. I shouldn't have said that. I should have held my anger at this time. There's so many things. Did I say
Sure.
no to buying the toy, or did I say no to buying the iPad or the phone, or did I say yes too soon? There's always guilt. No matter what we do, there's always that element of, So I wasn't really sure. Sometimes I was aware of it, sometimes I'm not. And then kids are very sensitive to this energy, right? To everything. So if they pick up on it subconsciously, they're going to act on it as well. So it's going to just keep adding to that. It's a
Cycle.
cycle, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to act in a way to make you feel more guilty, and they don't do it consciously, right? It's unconscious, and it's part of their
Yes.
journey and their growth too. And there was when she was 12 years old, that's when the epiphany happened. It was summertime. We traveled. I tried to travel with her at least once a year and create some memories and adventures together. That was something that I set my mind to many years ago, and I've been so blessed, alhamdulillah, that I have had the opportunity to do just that. So she was 12. We traveled for the summer. I took her to Colombia, which is where I grew up, and she's been hearing a lot about it. And she hadn't really visited before that because it was a long trip, and we just hadn't found the time to plan for it. So, but that was
Right.
the right time came. So we traveled. We spent a couple of months in Colombia. We visited family. I took her, to places where I grew up, my school, everywhere. I mean, we did a lot of things, even things that I hadn't even done growing up
Nice.
in Colombia as a kid. So there was a beautiful connection that we developed together in that trip. And maybe being in the place where I grew up, and funny enough, she was the age that I was when I left Colombia. So when I took her there, she was 12 years old, and when I left Colombia, I was 12. So there might
Wow.
have been something related to that.
Yes.
And when we came back and I was reflecting on my trip and the journey that I took with her, that was the moment when I let go of the guilt, because I saw all the beautiful things that we had done together. And I realized that, why am I always so focused on what I don't do, or what I haven't done, or what I haven't done enough or good enough, that I don't remember, or I don't focus on the beautiful things that I have done as a parent,
Yeah.
right? We have done together. And then it hit me, because we have had such a beautiful, meaningful journey that summer, and I think that's what kind of triggered me to see that light. And I was just so grateful, and I can still remember now the moment I had the epiphany, the moment I had that realization. I was like, I'm so ready. Like, guilt? What guilt? It's gone. Like, why have I wasted so much energy on that? Look at all the beautiful things we've done. Look at, like, and I started listing them, and I haven't journaled it enough, but I'd like to continue doing it. And this is
Right.
something even I work on with my clients, is I ask them to write lists of things, instead of writing about things they haven't done, or what could be, is let's sit and write the lists of small things or big things that you have achieved in your life, and
Yes.
sit in gratitude for them. Because another thing that I teach them at the same time with this process is that, when we do something that we feel good about, or something works out in our life, we get this high, we get this beautiful energy of joy and gratitude, and we sit with it, but it goes away so fast. It
Yeah.
doesn't stay with us. We can share it with other people. We can go around the day and, like, calling our loved ones and people who care about us and sharing it, but then it dissipates and it goes and we forget it. But when something goes wrong, it sits for a long time, and it sits in the subconscious, and it keeps coming up whether we know it or not. So it's not fair, right?
Yeah.
It's not fair on us. It's not fair on ourselves and on the relationships we're trying to build with others. And I believe that these relationships help us heal and grow even faster than when we do work on our own. So
Yes.
being this relationship of the parent child has gave me the opportunity to grow and say, no, I am grateful for what I've done as a parent so far. And I even sent gratitude to my future self at that time. And I said, I'm grateful, I'm grateful for all the things you will be doing from now, this point, till
Yes.
then. Time is an illusion. So I sat with gratitude, and I felt it. And I brought this as well as a component to my work, because everything I learn, I believe this is something for me to give out to help others, whoever can learn from it too. So that was my epiphany, and it was a changing point in my
Yes.
relationship with my daughter too, because I'm not doing things from fear anymore, from the fear or the guilt part. Now we're growing exponentially together,
Yes.
because this thing that was weighing me down and weighing us down and the relationship down is no longer there.
Hi, everyone. We just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for being here with us at the Epiphany Dialogues, where curiosity meets consciousness. If you're enjoying this episode, please hit the like button, follow, subscribe, and share with like-minded people.
And you're also welcome to join our conversation. If you have an epiphany to share, please leave us a comment or email us. Details are in the description below. And with that, back to the episode.
Wow, that is a huge achievement, I must say, because not just as a parent or a mom, but in general, women seem to hold or resonate with guilt a lot more because it has been used to control what women do. And, I'm not saying that men don't hold guilt at all, but as a daily part of life, I feel with people that I work with, women are carrying more of guilt. So I believe that not only have you shifted your own personal cycle and your relationship with your daughter, but you have helped to disarm a lot of the guilt that the women in your lineage would have been carrying as well, like from your mom to your grandmom and all of that. It's a very big thing that you have managed to do, by the way. I'm sure you do recognize it, but I have to really underline this here because it's not easy. It has its hold on us for, time unknown. And it's one of those things that we all read about it and we say, oh yeah, guilt is like a rocking chair. It, keeps you moving, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Or it's the most unnecessary, useless emotion because you can't do anything with it. It holds you back. And yes, it kind of, makes sense mentally, but it's almost like a reflex that we seem to have, that the first thing that comes up, if anything goes wrong, it's like, what did I do wrong? Or, what was my role in this? What did I not do well? That happens all the time. And for you to be able to have that moment of liberation, to be able to actually just see that, there might be things that I don't do perfectly or well yet, but there are so many things that I do well. And if I do give myself permission to really honor that and celebrate that, then I would be able to create more of those moments and to be able to release as much of the guilt that I can so that it gives me a clearer, energetic space within myself to see how I can do better if I want to, and to really create this beautiful relationship with my daughter who will learn from this and not carry that forward. So yes, I want to clap. Like I really just want to clap because this is it's very, very it's huge what you have done. And I'm so glad that you are sharing this, not just today, but in your life with your clients and your friends and your daughter, to help people to recognize that that is not the only way to do better, is through guilt and criticism and see what's missing and what's wrong. So yes, thank you. Bless you for that.
Oh, thank you so much for your beautiful words. And honestly, I hadn't in the moment or even later seen that this actually is breaking the chain for my ancestors. So thank you for bringing that up. I think I'm going to need to sit with it after the episode. I hadn't thought of it because I was carrying it for so long. It just felt different and new to just be in that new state where it's no longer on my shoulders that I even forgot about that point. But thank you for bringing that up. And another one is, yes, you're absolutely right, is what I did realize is how it has changed my daughter as a person, because anytime after that we would have an argument about something that I thought she should do and she thought she shouldn't do, and then she would tell me in that moment, stop making me feel guilty about it.
Wow.
And and the conversation would absolutely change. And it doesn't mean that, okay, she won't do what I asked her. The conversation would change, and then we'd get to an agreement in the end where she's happy, right? And it's the right choice, right? Whether it's whoever it is, it's not about whoever is right or wrong, but when I heard it, I could hear it. And probably in the past, when I was carrying the guilt, I probably wouldn't have heard it, even if she had said it
True.
1,000 times.
Yes, of course. My God, it's amazing how it starts getting reflected, and just brought back to your attention to show you that nobody likes to be made to feel guilty, and yet we do that the most to ourselves. And I think the one thing about parenting that I have seen across, everyone that I've worked with, and of course, family, friends, and all of that, is really we are now, of course, like you said earlier, getting to that conscious parenting. We are more aware of how we are raising our children, and we are more aware of trying not to cause trauma as little as possible, obviously, amongst our children. But I have noticed so much, and I keep reminding the parents that I work with that you're skipping a generation. You are trying to parent your kids as the best parent possible, but can you please reparent your inner child, your inner children? Raise yourself up now while you are independent and you're feeling safe and you're feeling stable, to reparent your inner children, to give them the childhood that they did not get for whatever reasons. Take responsibility so that when you do that with yourself and then it flows to your child, it's a lot more authentic, and you're not just following some books and some, influencer parents to know what is right and what is wrong, because your connection with your children is unique, it's strong, it's you. It comes from you. And if you are just trying to follow some scripts and some techniques and things like how to be a good parent, of course, you're doing better for sure. Of course, do what you can. But if you start holding space for your inner children with compassion and love and unconditional support, and to be able to say to yourself when you make a mistake that there is nothing that you could do that would make me love you less. It's okay, let's try again. Imagine how authentically it flows to your own child when that happens, rather than, oh, first I have to take a few deep breaths, I have to center myself, I have to, calm myself, and then speak to the child and say, okay, it's all right. It feels so like there's a lot more energy, I think, that goes into it, and they're an extension of you, and the bond is, at most part, for most parents, the most strongest of love ever, and yet we are skipping that generation, like I said, and it makes it harder, and it makes it more consuming of our energy to try and be that good parent. So I work with them, with their inner children, and then when it flows to their children, it's just, they come back and they're just like, yes, that changed everything. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up, for sure. That's very, very important.
Yes. And also what you said is true, is absolutely true. It's an opportunity to realize that where am I not being authentic with my kid, or where is this coming from? And I realized many times that the way I'm talking to her, I had to bring it back in, and that's exactly the same way I talk to my inner child. And when it's not coming from the light, then I have to come back and say, why, how can I change this within me too? Because if I fix this within me with my inner child, like you rightfully said, then it's gonna flow effortlessly to my own child who is
Yes.
here in front of me. So thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that as well.
Of course, of course. And I think our playfulness becomes more joyful with our children when we are allowing our inner child that we are healing to play with our, like, it's so beautiful. Like your tiny version of Rasha playing with your daughter. Like, just imagine that. It's just so beautiful. And she deserves it too. So yeah, thank you for sharing and for doing what you are and for being the best parent that you can be. I just have to, not in with the intention of bursting the bubble, but I just have to share with you, and I know you're probably aware of this. I would say do your very best. Keep working, of course, on healing yourself, becoming more whole, and letting that wholeness pass to your daughter in so many ways. Of course, do your best, but please know that life will bring certain experiences towards them that will help them to grow in their own way. So we can't always protect our children from trauma, and we can't even say I didn't cause any trauma, because let me tell you, when I started doing this work, And of course, with a childhood like mine and all the stuff we study, right? It's all about trauma and it's all about serious, big things, or even smaller things that are missing in childhood that create that sense of wound and pain. Um, so in my therapy sessions, I used to be kind of like just curious and a little bit digging about, well, how was your childhood? What happened? What was, to see where things might connect, not to force them, but to just get an idea. And most of the time, of course, people had challenges and trauma or things missing in terms of the parenting that they were given. But then something that totally surprised me, and I had to honestly just like literally take many breaths during that consultation where we talk about like, your life and how was your childhood. Someone said to me that my childhood was perfect. My parents were amazing. The home was full of love. We were secure financially. There were no problems. It was pretty much the most perfect, idyllic childhood that I could want. But do you know what messed me up? That my parents gave me such a perfect childhood that when I stepped out into the real world, I realized that I'm not special. I'm not loved. I'm not unique. I'm not perfect. And I had to learn the hard way. People were mean. And, so all I'm trying to say is that shocked me. Like, really, the first time I heard it, and I've heard it many times since then, but I was just like, oh my God bless parents. It's almost like they can never do it right completely, no matter how hard they try, which is why I say to parents, do your best, but be authentic. Let yourself make some mistakes, learn from them as well as you can, treat every child based on their personalities and their desires, support them as well as you can, but know that there will be things that your child will have to learn and heal and deal with themselves at some point, and it's not your fault.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, because you just reminded me that just like we need to come back to our inner child, the journey also would become even more beautiful and more full of light once we also forgive our parents for their shortcomings.
Yes, absolutely. I think, again, we are more open to forgiving our parents than we are ourselves, So again, it has to flow by starting to forgive yourself, and then your heart opens up to others, because it's very easy to say, even if it's not completely 100% that I forgive this person. I understand that they did their best and all of that. But when it comes to ourselves, that's when you actually realize that forgiveness is a process. It's not a switch like, yes, I forgive myself. That's it. It's a process that happens in the background and is a byproduct of the love that you give yourself, of the way that you hold yourself when you have failed or made a mistake or not done your best. And how do you talk to yourself as if you would talk to your best friend if they had made that mistake, or your daughter, obviously, if you have kids. But that's where forgiveness starts flowing, where you say, okay, look back and you say, yeah, I feel like I've forgiven that. It's not really an intention that just takes place and you're done. And then you start noticing that, oh yeah, I think I have forgiven my parents. I have forgiven that person because I don't have any charged emotions coming up when I think about it. And it doesn't mean that I have to interact with them more or do anything different, but just the fact that my heart is at peace and at rest and not blaming, which is the other part of guilt, obviously. So yeah, that was an important thing, I feel like, for us to talk about when it comes to parental guilt and how to grow out of it. Any other advice you have for parents before we close?
I think we've given them enough. There's a lot of work in what we just talked about.
True, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's enough. Even for me now, I have to go do some work after the session.
Fair. Okay, so you actually touched upon this earlier when you were talking. This is our closing question for all our guests. If time is an illusion and everything is happening all at once, past, present, and future, what would you hope that your future self is saying to you right now?
Yay! These pompons. It's like, you're doing great.
Oh, I
I
love
think
that.
her being my biggest cheerleader and me imagining her as being that, with all her wiseness and all her whateverness. I think just every time I think of her is thinking of her as a cheerleader. That kind of gives me, the courage to keep going, because that's what I would do when I think of my past self. And if I can connect with my past self in that way, the best thing I can do for her is, woohoo, you're doing great.
Yes,
So yes,
seriously, I
I
love
think
that.
so. I think
That is
that's,
so important.
yeah, I think so too, because we're gonna, she can come and give me all the wisdom she wants. I won't get it. I won't get it until I go through it, until I learn the lesson, until I go through the journey. So I think the best thing she can do is just keep cheering me on.
Yes, you're doing so well. Like I said, I guess, there's nothing that you can do that would make me love you less. Is probably what this cheerleading pom pom swinging future self of yours is saying. But yeah, I love that. Thank you for responding that way. Yeah, I actually really like the fact that no amount of wisdom is perhaps really going to sink in right now or land where it needs to land. I just need to make my own choices and follow my intuition, my heart. And I know that there's someone, a version of me that is fulfilled and more whole and actualized, just cheering me on to make those choices. And even if I make a couple of choices that are not of the highest potential, I will still reach there and learn something through them.
Beautifully said, Zimmy. See, you put it in beautiful words. Thank you.
Of course, because that's kind of what it made me feel seeing you do that. Like just that cheerleading, it made me feel like if we had a narration to that, subtitles, perhaps that's what my future self would say. So yeah, sorry for jumping on board
No,
of
I
your
love it.
answer.
I love it. I didn't find the words. I just had to enact it. But you just put the words on it so beautifully. I couldn't have said it better. No, thank you.
Well, I think we are a great team and we should do this more often.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you so much. This beautiful time capsule we just went through, and the space and all the gems and the sharing. And thank you for holding the space and inviting me to the podcast. I had so much fun, and thank you for the connection. Really, thank you, Zimmy.
Gosh, you're most welcome, and it's my pleasure from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful for everything that we have shared all these years until now and for today. And bless you. Have a lovely, lovely day, Rasha.
Thank you.